especially if you're working with a book that needs a lot and they're a needy group. So I was thinking, yeah, with her, she might need more explicit modeling and visual.
Okay, explicit modeling and visual.
Yes, because for your use, you modeled the language structure, use water for, and I think it was enough for everyone but Genesis. I think she would have needed to hear it more.
Okay.
So even if it means, which is like you're giving up a little behavior and letting Angel go a little bit, and doing the book walk with Genesis, even if it's like coming in at the end, just to like say the structure more. And I know we're like, are we telling them the whole book?
That's what I worry about.
Which is like,
because I'm like, I know when we get to like, M class, I can't. I mean, the first books or whatever, but the next, like, you need to read this.
It's a fine line. That's why I would love to switch more into story, because you can do that less and less with story. But she's so unfamiliar.
When you say switch to story,
narrative, like My Tower,
okay,
or like something where there's a storyline
instead of like
yes,
this, okay.
Where she can like grasp onto the storyline and kind of anticipate what might happen based on the story.
Yeah,
it's hard for her to anticipate what's going to come next in the nonfiction, because it's meant to change.
Yeah.
So if she had that, maybe that would help her a little bit. Make
like the tiger, like they guess. Yeah, okay.
Because right now she's guessing at the vocabulary because she doesn't have it. Sure.
And it doesn't even match like the strategies. It doesn't sometimes match the beginning sound. Yeah. But she's pulling. I mean, she's trying to guess.
So it's like kind of like supporting that effort that's being made. Like, oh yeah, okay, yeah. And that might make it easier. So we might have to fight. We might have to take books away from other groups.
Okay.
Just to get this, because these are your cusp, on the cusp students. Well, so you need to get resources from other people to get in here. So I think that might help out. And as far as next steps for how like we can adjust the level without going too far into telling them the story too explicitly, I was thinking we could definitely get together and kind of analyze and get on the hunt for their next book choice.
Okay.
Whether it's looking at what's missing or getting from other groups or whatever, or other teachers. And we want to think when we're planning, especially with Genesis in mind, what kind of support is she going to need before she reads, while she's reading, which is big for her, and then afterwards, which is kind of like the quick thing you did with reusing the language structure, going back to retell, which can be just as helpful. So we might have to keep that lens with them before, during, and after. What level of support am I going to have to give? Even if it's like a quick bullet, like it doesn't have to be this long drawn out plan. So the before you have your book introduction is really solid. Even if it's just making a note, may need to say the structure a couple more times for Genesis. That could be your quick planning before. It's not like planning a book introduction. It's quick notes. How can I make this easier for Genesis? Because we want her to feel like it's easy, or she can do it, so that she can continue to. So she won't just stop.
Yeah.
Like, during the headlights. Yeah. So, and then during, it might be like, okay, I know she's going to struggle with this page. You might even have to, like, corner of your eye watch, or any of the students really, and plan for, I might need to jump in when they get to that page. So I know I'm going to check in with Angel when he's around this part, because I feel like he might struggle with this word or this questioning. So that's like the during part. And then the after can be really quick. Retelling. They can go back and read their favorite page. Sometimes I do that. If it's like a tricky structure like that, I'm like, oh, which page do you think you sounded the best on? Which one was your favorite? You can go back and read that. So that they can just feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's such a tightrope with these guys. Not so much Brian, but when you're like trying to expose them to new words, difficult structures, and then it's just like a lot to take on. Yeah.
Like,
so we're like, how can we make this accessible? It's a balancing act, but you're already thinking in that way. Like even when you're like, okay, I need to do this for her, and Angel needs this. Your mind's already there. It's just being like, even if you can look at a text and try to anticipate it ahead of time, like, what am I going to have to do for her? Yeah. And I know it's a lot to think of, because there's so many kids.
Yeah.
But it's like piece by piece. Hold on, let me stop this.